Microsoft is one of the largest companies in the world. It had a revenue of $198.27 billion in 2022. However, compared to the Microsoft of the early 1990s and the early 2000s, today's Microsoft isn't simply what it once was. Revenues are high, but profits have stagnated over the years. When most people think about Microsoft, they think of Windows, Office 365, or Xbox. Windows 11, the newest version of Windows, is only on 15.44% of PCs worldwide. Windows 10 also had a slow start as well, before Microsoft forced everyone to download it, along with missteps like the Zune, Windows Phone, and MSN. Wait, not that one. That one. Microsoft isn't simply the tech giant it once was. So what happened? Well, it started in 2000 when a judge ordered Microsoft to break up in 2000 after they bought Netscape, the most popular internet browser, destroyed it, and replaced it with Internet Explorer. They didn't break up, but it did hurt the company's reputation as they were seen as an evil monopoly. In the same year, Bill Gates left as CEO and made fellow Harvard classmate Steve Ballmer his replacement. Ballmer began cutting costs by removing amenities and lowering salaries, which led to low morale in the company. Another big reason was missed opportunities. Long before Apple came out with the iPad, Microsoft was working on a tablet of their own, but Ballmer canceled that project. Same thing happened with ebooks. They were ahead of the game, but Ballmer and Gates also canceled that project as well. The general consensus in Microsoft offices were that everything had to work with Windows, and Windows was God. Next reason is that Microsoft simply became too bureaucratic. Thanks to the Windows CE and the Windows Pocket PC, Microsoft had a huge lead on smartphones, but completely blew it due to huge levels of Microsoft management. It would take weeks and months for decisions and projects to be approved, slowing down everything. The old board of directors wasn't in touch with what people wanted today. MSN also failed to catch up with AOL Instant Messenger due to management seeing MSN as a waste of money early on. Another big reason was stack racking, which basically destroyed Microsoft from the inside. How it worked is that Microsoft managers would basically rank their employees, and I'm not sure if this stuff was actually legal or not, but it did happen. It made Microsoft employees compete with each other instead of competing with each other against companies like Google, Apple, and Sony, which were on the rise. It was also contributing to a toxic workplace, leading many to take jobs at other tech companies like Google. My final reason is the rise of Apple. In the 1990s, Apple wasn't much of a threat, but once they released the iPod, they were starting to get back into the game. Microsoft created Zune to compete with the iPod, but just 54 days later, Apple released the iPhone, which was far, far better than the Zune. The Zune would end up failing miserably. Microsoft also attempted to replicate the iPhone's success with their own phone called the Windows Phone, which was a piece of garbage. When the phone was released, Microsoft employees held a funeral for the iPhone. Their funeral took place 1 year later. Plus, they also made Bing, which I don't even think Bill Gates uses. It was made to copy Google and that only. It had no new tech or new features. It was just Google but Microsoft version. It's just a burning money pit for them and I don't understand why they still make it. In 2014, Microsoft was on the same level as its competitors like Google, Apple, and Facebook and looked to go even lower when Satya Nadella was brought in to replace Ballmer. He basically saved the company by focusing on tech and not on money. He began focusing on selling software to companies instead of individual people. He focused more on cloud computing products like Microsoft Azure and getting rid of useless products like the Windows Phone. Microsoft Azure now makes up a third of Microsoft's revenue. Today, Microsoft is valued at $1.785 trillion. Now, unfortunately, Microsoft is not on top of the tech world anymore, but they are still a major player. But all things considered, such as poor management, missed opportunities, a bad bureaucracy, toxic workplace, and a rise of competitors, as well as their failure to innovate, they got really, really lucky. They're lucky they didn't end up like AOL. Today, we see the same thing happening to companies like Google, Amazon, and Facebook. What I believe happened to Microsoft was just the natural rise and fall of companies, and Microsoft really got lucky that they didn't go bankrupt or went out of business. So what do you guys think? Do you think Microsoft will ever be what they once were? Leave a comment down below to share your thoughts. Thanks for watching.